Hey Bulls and Bears, I am back. Thank you for being back. It's been a couple days, hasn't it? Maybe just one day. Was it 2 days? 1 day? Doesn't matter. We're here now. Back with another dose of economic reality. I had family coming in from out of town, so I do apologize. I've been putting out a little less videos than usual. Usually I'm pretty on point with getting videos out every day, so I've kind of slowed it down to every other day. But I'm going to start picking it back up here. Well, actually, no, we're leaving town Saturday. We're going up to Big Bear, so might not be picking it up too much, but I'll try to report as much as possible, and I'll try to do some reports on the road, and I want to thank everybody for continuing to follow me here on this channel. Thank you very much as we continue to document the economic collapse that is unwinding in slow motion, and it's unwinding in a way that most people still don't understand. Most people expect a crashing economy or a economic collapse to be crashing prices, falling home prices, falling car prices. Well, with the level of money creation that's happening right now, it's very unlikely to get a deflationary collapse scenario like so many people had hoped for. A lot of people are hoarding cash, the people that can hoard cash. In this environment of high cost of living, it's not easy to hoard cash, but the people that can hoard cash are waiting for better times, as far as better times to buy real estate, automobiles, just the cost of living to come down, right? So people are putting off traveling right now because the cost of gas, the cost of tickets, the cost of hotels is just crazy. But a lot of people are having a difficult time even putting cash away. More people are running up debt. You know the story. Let's get into some of the latest news here I want to get into today. First, the central bank, they say they're not taking consecutive rate hikes off the table. You know what that means? That there's a good chance that they won't raise rates again. If the Feds, if they say these things, then the odds are that the opposite will happen. If they're talking about, oh, we're not going to be afraid to raise rates, then guess what? They're probably really afraid to raise rates anymore, and it's likely going to be rate cuts. Again, why did they skip this last rate hike if higher rates were the solution to the high cost of living problem? If that were the solution to inflation, why would they skip or why would they pause a rate hike, right? It doesn't make any sense. And like Judge Judy says, I had a family member that used to watch that show all the time, Judge Judy, and she said, or she says, maybe she still says it, if it doesn't make sense, then it's not true. That's one of her quotes. I don't know why I remembered that, but the backlash still continues against beer maker Bud Light, and I guess they made the wrong group of people mad. They're still not able to get their sales to pick back up. So could it be the end of the brand? If they just change the name of it, maybe people won't realize it, and maybe they'll just have to completely rebrand the that particular beverage. But the people pushing this this agenda, they want us all wearing dresses, and they want us all licking lollipops. They don't want any of us to be farmers. They don't want any of us to be self-sufficient. They want us all to be dependent on the companies. Don't grow your own food because this company is going to grow the food and you can go buy it with your credit card. Nobody be self-sufficient. All you need to do is just be reliant on corporate America to provide everything for you, right? The nanny state, as some people would call it. Jim Rogers, famed investor Jim Rogers, is out there with a warning. So it's not just me saying this, folks. Listen to what Jim Rogers said. Quote, "You should be extremely worried." He warns that the next bear market's going to be the worst in his lifetime, and he's been around for a few decades, a lot of decades actually. A bigger crash than 2008. So he says crash. I've been saying slow motion collapse, but yes, a crash could happen. It's going to take some big situation to turn this into a crash. Just think 2020 when the health crisis spread across the globe, and things crashed. The stock market crashed, but then again they came in with bigger money printing and pushed the stock market back up. They sent out tons of money to people, so it was a different crash than we'd ever seen before. We have never seen such a fast recovery as we did in 2020, both in the markets and consumer spending picked right back up. Companies got paycheck protection programs, so a lot of companies were able to survive that wouldn't have survived otherwise. But on the other hand, a lot of small businesses, that wasn't even enough to rescue a lot of these small businesses. So it was very interesting. What's the next big thing that's going to come out here and crash this economy? Is it going to be something huge like you wake up, there's no power, there's no internet, you can't buy anything with your credit card? You're going to see Mad Max unwind in a matter of just a few days if that were to happen. So that's a pretty big risk. I always encourage everyone to be prepared for it. It doesn't hurt to keep at least a month of survival items, money out of the bank, food, etc. U.S. home prices are still dropping, and the S&P 500 will erase this year's gains. That's economist David Rosenberg. All right, so if nothing's wrong, why do we have all these people out there giving all these warnings? And people have been hearing these warnings for years, and a lot of people just don't really see what's happening. They know that they're broke and living paycheck to paycheck, but a lot of people have accepted that as the new normal. I was talking to somebody through email and chatting back and forth a little bit, and they were kind of a skeptic about, okay, when's the economic collapse going to happen? So I asked them a few questions. I'm like, well, how's your savings? How's your home? How many more years until you pay off your home? Turns out they don't have a home. They're renting. They don't have much money put away. I asked you to have at least a month's worth of survival money put away, and canned goods, no. They don't have that. They're not prepared for that. But yet in their mind, everything's fine. So they don't have at least a month living expenses put away. They're renting their home. This is somebody in their 40s. But yet they still think everything's fine. I guess some people have just accepted the fact that they'll never own anything, that they're going to be living paycheck to paycheck for life. And to some people, that's fine. So if that's fine to you, you may not see any problems out there. Oh yeah, I'm broke. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But that's okay, because I could just swipe my credit card and buy whatever I need. Life is good. Many people look at it like that. As long as you can get what you need today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year, it doesn't matter, because everything's fine, and everything's going to continue to be fine until, for the rest of their life. Many people have just accepted defeat as the new normal, and a lot of people have accepted defeat as good. They're not missing any meals. They can go to restaurants, swipe their card, have a very nice steak dinner. Doesn't matter how much it costs, because the banks are going to give me credit, and it doesn't matter if I can ever pay it off. Just ask all the 4 million students who can't pay their student loans. I'm sure if you even ask them, they can't pay their loans back. They had to freeze this now, student loans, for 3 years. If you ask most of them, everything's fine. I'm living at home. I've got benefits. Anyways, let's move on from that here. More owners of distressed office properties simply choose to walk away, folks. This could be the pin that bursts the bubble. The commercial property bubble is collapsing. It's bursting before our eyes. Now, this takes longer to get noticed in the just the regular economy, right? The consumer economy. But this is something big we're going to have to keep an eye on. We've got several cities now with over 50% vacancy rates. And you may not think this is going to affect the average person, but with all these businesses that are no longer occupying these buildings, this could be the pin that bursts the bubble. I'd like you to tell me your view on that here. Please let me know down in comments. This is out of Business Insider. The Fed will not hit its 2% inflation target until 2025. And consumer spending less shows a recession is coming. That's Bank of America saying that. So again, we've been hearing these warnings for years. But if we're not going to hit our 2% inflation target until 2025, why are we pausing rate hikes? Again, it doesn't make any sense, right? We haven't hit the target that they're supposed to hit. They have that target in place. They haven't hit it, but yet we're pausing rate hikes. That should be a very loud alarm bell when you see things like that they do not add up. They do not make any sense. Let's take a look here. Ford, more layoffs, 1,000 contract and salaried workers. With the price of vehicles, why are so many automobile companies laying off workers? You would think with vehicles still at very high prices that these companies would be hiring more people. Hey, let's make more cars because so many people are going to buy them, because the prices are still very high. There's still a high demand for cars. And the reason prices are high is because there's not enough cars for sale. So let's make more. But no, the opposite has happened. They're laying off, right? So that should be another alarm bell out there to most people. Thousands of prisoners to get free college paid for by the government. If you're one of the 4 million people that can't repay your student loan and you hear about prisoners getting free college, that must kind of sting a little bit. So you might be questioning your decisions in life. It's like, oh, maybe I should have went out and got arrested and I wouldn't have all the student loan debt and I can get my college degree behind bars. And if it was a small offense where I'm only in prison for maybe 5 or 10 years, I can get my college degree and then get back out in 10 years and be debt free. What a crazy world we live in, folks. Isn't it just insane? It's crazy. Let's see what else here. We're going to wrap that up for now. I'm going to make this one a short one today. You know how we always have to end this, folks. Keep stacking. If you can't afford 30 days living expenses at least, I recommend 6 months, but at least 30 days, then things are not going so well for you. I'm sorry to break the truth to you. If you think everything's fine and you can't afford 30 days living expenses, you need to wake up, folks, because it's time to prepare, because this thing could explode overnight. We could wake up and it would be chaos, folks. If we see an outage, the banks go out, countries are trying to bring us down, our grid, you know it. You know what's happening. So get ready. Slow motion collapse, but any day this thing could fall apart very, very easily. Right? Keep stacking, folks. Big love. Bye for now. Peace.